Welcome to the this thing. Hello. Okay, we need to test this thing as well. Does this thing work? Does it do stuff? Is there any signal? Why don't I hear anything? Wow. Okay. This is strange. Let's go to this mode. No, there's something doesn't work here. All right. Can I have this a little louder with less? Okay, I don't need the microphone anyway. But the rest works. This should be fine. So, hello, nice to see you all here. Welcome to my seminar. We are at this, hello? Yeah, hello. So, my topic this year is how to make good music. And how to make music in general. As you might have seen on the webpage, the topic actually was communicating emotion, how to make good music, but I cut the emotion part to make it a little more snappy. So, first, let's have a look at this seminar triangle. I call this the seminar triangle. And it's important to, well, set a frame for what I'm going to talk about here. So first, above all, there is truth. There always has been truth, and there always will be truth. But then again, there is dangerous half-truth. I'm personally a friend of dangerous half-truth. And then there's biased bullshit. And my seminar will be somewhere like there. So you don't expect anything, so don't expect me to actually answer the question how to make good. Okay, so what is music? What is music? I asked the almighty internet, and the internet told me music is an art form whose medium is sound and silence. So, what the hell is art? I asked the almighty internet again, and the almighty internet told me art is a term that describes a diverse blah blah blah. Art is stuff people make. This is what Wikipedia told me. And let's stick with those definitions for the time being. So what is good music? This is, well, I asked the almighty internet, of course, but the almighty internet told me, well, there's, well, just lots of this biased bullshit I was talking about a minute ago. So you get lots of answers considering the question, what is good music, and none of them help. So isn't sufficient. It's inherently subjective. Who would have guessed that, of course. So what are good answers? And good answers are good answers. And good answers are good answers to good questions. So let's try to ask good questions here. Let's try to ask the right questions. So anyway, is there anybody here who's really passionate about music? You are! You are too! Okay, so, okay, what music are you passionate about? You. Now give, let's wait a second for the microphone.
Hello. Hello. Oh, yeah, I'm on. Hello. Yes, I'm passionate about all types of music.
All types of music, so no personal preference. All right. And back there?
Good music.
Good music. Ah, this is cool. So we have the same. Is there anybody here who has a certain hate for certain music? Okay, let's give him.
I hate bad music.
Pop music.
Bad.
Bad music. Bad
really
music. Okay.
Badly produced.
Bad
badly
music.
made.
Yeah. Okay. Bad music. So you hate bad music. You love good music. It's well. And the rest of you, all you don't have any opinion, so you're completely indifferent about music. This leads me to the answer. I totally predicted that. There are three possible attitudes towards music. That's love, hate, and indifference. Well, let's maybe stick with this definition. Good music is music considered by people to be good. That's a good definition because it's not that formal and it doesn't try to pinpoint anything down to any criterion of whatever. So, well, do you know anything? Could you think of any things people like about music in particular? Any reasons why people consider music to be good? You don't have any idea. You have an idea. Okay.
For example, it makes them dance or move.
Makes people dance, yeah?
In the clubs. Yeah.
Okay. So danceable music might be considered good music. Any other opinions? Let's collect some opinions here.
Yeah, I think good music generally conveys emotions.
Conveys emotions. Okay, this is fun. What emotions?
Well, I think good music conveys pleasant emotions. Or
Okay.
Perhaps emotions that fit your mood.
Emotions that fit your mood. So music could be good that helps the mood you're already in, something like that. Okay. Any other opinions? There's another opinion. There's one, too. Okay.
Music that is rated good by others.
Interesting. So music that is considered to be good because it is considered to be good by others. All right.
If you,
Now
have,
yeah?
if you have pleasant harmonies.
Pleasant harmonies. Okay, that's a very classic approach. But okay, yes, this could be, it's more like an abstract quality. Okay.
If it's well produced.
Well
So the
produced.
sound
well
quality
produced.
is good.
Sound-wise, you mean? Like it has all the full range frequencies, it doesn't hurt the ear and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. There's another opinion there too? Okay.
Music that's fresh.
That's fresh. What do you mean by that?
It's something new, something you haven't heard before.
So could we say innovative?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And a little bit depends on time. So there are tunes I like to hear, but perhaps after coming home from Eurovision, I can't hear any breakbeats for 3 or 4 weeks.
All right. Okay, let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. What we can say, what we can conclude is that there are certain qualities, nameable qualities music can have. For example, emotional qualities. Music can be good because it evokes a certain mood in the listener, or it is good for listening in a particular mood or something like that. This could be a quality, and those qualities we can actually name. We can say what it is, or makes you feel at peace with the universe or something. Then there are abstract qualities, or let's say technical qualities music can have, like well-structured, has sophisticated structure, or has a lots of notes in it, or is written on a crazy medium, like in this picture. So this could be a quality. Again, qualities we can name. And there then are functional qualities, like it is good for dancing, or well, the social character music can have. Music tends to build communities, for example. So those three give us a good way of categorizing statements about what qualities music can contain. We can practically fit anything into one of those categories. So there are many answers. I think we could have continued collecting answers for a long, long while. But it's still impossible to point out some single instructive answer on how to make good music. If we want to conceive something that is considered to be good music, this doesn't help us at all because it's too noisy, it's too mixed, and it's well, it doesn't help us. So let's ask another question: how to make good music? This is an entirely different question, because now we don't want to interpret music, and we don't want to attribute certain values to music there already is. We want to make good music. How can we do this? Oh my God, this is difficult. Are there any creators here? I saw some creators here. People, is there any musicians? Who's a musician? You are musicians. All right. Many musicians here. Not bad. Okay. So you might know the feeling of starting to make something. You go to your studio or your PC or your synthesizer, or you take your guitar or whatever, and you have in mind this feeling, I want to make good music now. And yes?
This is really disturbing. What is this talking?
Shut the yeah. I'm speaking. Is it better now? Did it improve? Was it good talking? Okay, let's stick with our topic. So there are many musicians here, and you might know the feeling of taking an instrument or whatever, and then you want to make something incredibly good, maybe before a party or before a deadline or whatever, and then nothing happens. You're completely out of ideas. Everything's empty. You don't know where to start, and well, so you're basically in a state of creative paralysis. Does anybody know this feeling? Of you, music? Yeah, okay. A better approach is to not go with I want to make a good song, but pick out something more specific. We've been talking about those qualities before, so you could try to make a super cheesy melody, for example, or you could try to create a super ultra complicated rhythm, or maybe make a evil badass dubstep wobble whatever thing. And this is down to very particular nameable qualities now. So what you do with this approach, you try to make something very specific, and all of those things you could possibly come up with, they fit in those qualities, in those quality categories I told you about before. So like super cheesy melody, this is an emotional quality. Doing something super complicated, this is an abstract quality. And an evil badass dubstep wobble is at the same time something emotional and abstract, because you have to achieve this particular sound for that. So okay, eventually you come up with something, and you put it together, and you make something more. And you add more elements, and then you stick it together in your sequencer or tracker or whatever. And what eventually arises is a song. It's 3 minutes long, and you can listen to it. And then you will most likely get into the OMG, I made this myself effect. I am a god musician. This is what usually happens as soon as you try to make something up what you like. So you have this strong emotional bond to what you're trying to achieve, and this totally disturbs your sense of reality. So do the reality check and release it at a demo party, and this is what might happen when you follow that approach. So it's not good enough. When we try to make good music, this is not good enough. This is not the right approach. You might actually like it and go off about it. It's like masturbation or something. It doesn't tell anything about your song. So let's try to modify this approach, and let's go back to those qualities we have. If you make something particular, you usually try to give it some emotional quality or abstract quality. What works much better maybe is trying a functional quality, selecting a functional quality, so selecting a purpose for making something, and then using those other two for implementing this functional quality. So let's try that. Purpose, do guidest me. Okay, so eventually you will now make something like I want to make something that gets placed top 3 in a music competition at a demo party, or something that supports the mood in a computer game, or something that sells to 1 million of French trans lovers or something. And this has some some advantages over the other approach, because now you think about who will actually listen to what you make. This makes you think about other people. You make some assumptions about your audience, and this might help to constrain your creative narcissism, because now you're trying to achieve something special which involves other people. This makes a big difference. But nevertheless, you will most likely get to this effect again. And it still won't work. But the major advantage is that this functional approach helps us to analyze afterwards what went wrong. If we selected some function, we can test this function afterwards. And then we can iterate, we can repeat the process, we can modify some elements. Maybe we got something wrong and learn from that. So if we repeat this process often enough, there goes your scientific method. This is the way to go. I came up with this rule of thumb for remembering this. Use abstract qualities to supply emotional qualities in order to enrich functional qualities. So they come first, and you use these other two. Plainly speaking, to make good music, use your skill and experience, following a functional purpose. What should fail, and then repeat. So, does that make sense to you? Yes. I was expecting no, actually.
Let's say no.
Okay, let's just say no and leave that slide on. I will try to demonstrate this now. I will now make a song following this pattern. And I will do it with my finger using this device. It's already starting. Yeah, okay, so we made some speedcore. But let's stay with the theory at that point. What was my purpose? Okay, give it another shot. Make a hardcore tune, okay. Don't know if this was hardcore.
Your purpose was to demonstrate the use pattern.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I told so before. So my purpose was to demonstrate the use pattern. Okay, a more difficult question. What are the emotional qualities in here? None. Okay. With this attitude, you won't get anywhere. Fun. Fun. Okay, fun is an emotional quality. What else could there be? Listen to it, how it sounds. Yeah? Pain. Pain. Yes. Yes. It's still too quiet to be pain, but pain, yes. Pain is good. Pain is an emotional quality. Aggression. Yes. This is what I was looking for. Aggression, etc. Okay. Yeah, and it worked. I wanted to do something aggressive, and well, okay. Yeah, it all goes down to those emotional qualities, actually. These abstract qualities, like skill level or anything with devices, with like this one, we have technology at our hands, which makes it incredibly easy to come up with something that sounds good in comparison to other stuff there's around, and it's not that difficult, and it can be learned. Playing some instrument, and all can be learned. It just takes time. So the emotional quality thing is much more difficult, but there is something which might help us there. So let's take a look at musical genres. Musical genres. This is an evil topic. Musical genres do some things. They build communities, for example. This is what genres do, like, yeah, you listen to this too, or yeah, this is cool, let's be friends. This is what genres do, and they satisfy certain taste. Like, if you like aggressive music that is fun at the same time, you might possibly like Gabba. And they also develop their own abstract and emotional qualities. The longer a genre prevails, the more, well, things it develops, like good guitar players, the tapping thing with guitars, for example. This is what genres do. I replaced the typo here. So this actually fits perfectly in our use pattern, because building communities is a social function. It is a function. It is something that genres do. Certain taste, this is like emotional consensus of a group that a genre satisfies. And those abstract and emotional qualities, they are for those above purposes within a genre. So it's interesting that this use pattern can be applied to practically anything. So maybe we can steal those emotional qualities from genres. And this could actually work if we look at genres in a way that isn't very appreciating, but more, if we look at genres in a functional way, genres create cliches. They create cliches big time. Like those 80s steps or those hardcore breaks, those are all cliches. And cliches are nothing else but the result of evolutionary optimization when the purpose is satisfying tastes. And those cliches that arise in a genre, they are just in some way or another perfect for satisfying certain tastes the genre lovers want, because they become overused and everything. But this is not what this is about. So those cliches communicate certain emotions in an optimal way. And this is our toolbox. We can just look at musical genres and steal the cliches from there. In order to do that, we have, of course, to know those genres. We have to listen to them. We have to integrate ourselves into the communities celebrating those genres to really get a feeling for what those emotional qualities are, and in order to see how people react to certain things the music uses. But if we do that, yes?
Can I interrupt?
Yes, of course.
It's, so what you're saying is that to make good music to a specific audience, you will have to only make what the cliches tell you to do? Is that what you're saying?
The question is if I postulate that this is the only way to go for making good music, stealing from cliches, from genres. No, it's one way to do it. It's a very practical way to do it because it's very efficient. It's efficient if we are following some purpose. We can do this and come to some conclusions very quick without so much experimentation. We would need more experimentation if we were reinventing the wheel all the time, but we aren't. We have our heads full of those cliches. We all listen to so much music all our lives. We're watching TV, cinema, it's omnipresent. At demo parties, there's so much music around. It all goes into our heads. We can't close our ears. We can't close our eyes. We can't close our ears. So most of those cliches are already there. They are what makes us laugh at certain, very pointed out genre cliches. Take this demo-style music stuff, which is often played in the demo scenes, ranging somewhere between chiptunes and those chippy, cheesy elements which are kind of 80s inspired from their musical structure. You know what I'm talking about. This is very present in the demo scene, and it mixes with lots of other styles present in our competitions. Those are such cliches. We all know them. We react to them. And we already know them. So why not use them? Why not think about them as something which is already there, which we know, which we can feel, actually, and use for our advantages? Because what we want to do is we want to sell millions of tunes to French trance lovers. And that's our approach. Does that answer your question? So it's not the only way to go. We can, of course, try around. We can make whatever. As long as it's fun, everything is allowed. My approach with this concept is, with this paradigm, actually, is to find some kind of formalized, more efficient way to improve what we do and to value it, to test it as well. Just try to put something into words what we already do, most likely. So, okay, the use pattern is a paradigm. It's not a bad one. We can understand music that way, we can value it, and we can maybe create good music following it. And it's one way to look at things. There are others. And it actually this pattern works for other art as well. We could have the same talk about paintings or something, or demos, or whatever there is. It's very high level. It's fun to experiment with. So you could try this out easily, especially at demo parties where you have a very closed audience composed of the same people since like 20, 30 years or something. This is perfect because you can really get to know this audience, always the same people. You can talk to them and everything. And then you can experiment with it. You can try something out, select some weird functional approach, and test it here. This competition tradition is perfect for that. It also can lead to innovation, though. It's not like it's all about stealing or reaching something specific. It's all still about the OMG, I made this myself effect, of course. But this recombination approach, even if we take from other genres or songs or whatever, well, where's the border between being inspired by something and actually stealing something? This is completely, this is a bottomless pit. And I don't want to go into that discussion, actually. Well, it doesn't work. The use pattern doesn't work for people who prefer to stick in their genre cage, because the whole range of emotional expression we can put into music is so much wider than the cages certain genres set. So this is more like for people who are actually passionate about music for what it is. Regardless of the genre. Do you know, by the way, the genre extra tone? I just figured it out a few days ago when researching about hardcore music, and there's this weird genre called extra tone, which goes like BPMs, beats per minute beyond 1,000 or something. So yeah, I was kind of weirded out by this stuff, but it actually exists. There's a living culture of musicians and DJs who do this extra tone thing, and it goes like up to 15,000 BPM. It sounds like this. Yeah, it's like it's too fast to be like. You cannot hear the bass drums anymore. Those are like 250 hertz tones. But this is a legitimate genre, which I find kind of fascinating. People listen to this. By the way, now where we are at this hardcore discussion, beyond, I don't know them. I hope you do. But okay. So this extra tone below there, like between beyond speedcore, but below extra tone is splittercore. Splittercore has like 800 plus BPM to 1,000 something. So it's like somewhere here. So this is splittercore, another legitimate genre people actually listen to. Then there's speedcore, but this is what we do. This is what we use. This is what we know. And there's this usual Gabba terror thing. And then there's... So, 4 genres in one device. Isn't this impressive what Cork built there? So thank you very much. I'm open for questions now. Any questions? Yes, please.
All right, so... yeah, very nice talk.
Thank you.
It's a good approach, and I think it for when we are sometimes stuck, it's good to like a tool to go out. But this is completely the antithesis of your submission for the music compo. Like, who the fuck listens to classical music in this party? I mean,
well, it's not classical music actually.
Yeah,
it's more
whatever.
like symphonic.
It's
but
yes,
whatever.
But, yes,
now we're back in the genre debate. Sorry.
Oh no! But the function of the choice of the musical genre. That's my question.
Choice of a genre.
Yes, because if you do dubstep or if you do some other demo-friendly genres, then you would be using it as a function to. Then with your abstract qualities to reach an emotional quality in the audience, as I understood.
I have to
right?
contradict you there. This is not a function. This is a means of doing things. Picking a genre is for well, you do that because you want to achieve something particular, like winning a competition, for example. Well, my purpose, by the way, if I hand in something to competitions, I want to listen to my stuff loud, and see other people listening to it and see how they react. So this is my, this is everything I need to be satisfied here. But well, let's go back to this slide maybe with this, yeah, with these qualities. Selecting a genre. A genre is basically a set of emotional techniques and abstract techniques. It's not a function. It has no function attached to it. It can be good for some function, but it is not the function itself. Know what I mean?
Well,
So
the function could be that it's a winning genre, for instance. Like it's in fashion to make, I don't know, dubstep or whatever.
okay, so okay, let's say it that way. The function could be make a track that satisfies the desires of people listening to dubstep. So what would arise then would most likely be a dubstep tune, which is similar to whatever dubstep artist you like. There's a wide range, actually. But let's think of it more like in terms of people you want to deliver something to, and set this as the function. And of course, you can say, okay, I want to make a dubstep hit. Yeah? Set this as a function. But it's still something different from it's in the way you think about it. It's different from thinking in genres. To think, I want to make something people like, who like those tracks, is something else than to say people who like dubstep. You know, I want to make a dubstep hit. This is something entirely different in the approach, the way to look at things. But maybe let's continue this discussion later. I find it rather interesting. Any more questions or criticism?
Yes, there is. Criticism, I don't know it.
Okay.
Basically, you've been using what is really looking like a scientific approach, like you try to pick up elements of existing music and use them as a way to evaluate your own music. And so this is some sort of scientific approach, and you've been talking about what's, well, like having your music being sold to hundreds of French trans lovers, which is kind of a serious economic incentive.
Yes?
How do you combine those approaches, which are really figure-based, to the artistic nature of music?
Yeah, this is a very good question.
Nature of the creative process of music.
Okay, first, I'm supposing that the artist has fun with what he does. Talked about this, oh my god, I make this myself effect. This is very important. In order to come up with something actually good, I think it's important to love what you do. I didn't write that down anywhere, I just well, assumed this to be known, but that's first. Okay, so we're evil. We have this weird economic desire to make shitloads of money with, what was it, French trans something. All right, so, okay, let's follow this thought and see what would arise from this technique. We would first maybe look at figures, we'll look at charts. I'm sure there are some electronic music charts in France, and then we would pick out the stuff that fits this genre, this trance genre. We would maybe read lots of online forums, buy some samplers, listen through them, etc. Just to get we would go to events, to concerts, to DJ sets and everything, to get the feeling of what happens there, why those people like it. Because what we have to do is figure out those emotional qualities. We have to figure out why people like that and buy that. And as soon as we arrive at this emotional thing, it's all about art again. It's all about being an artist. It's about working with emotion, about communicating emotion, actually. So I don't think that that it really this approach contradicts with the artistic circumstance in which music happens. Does that answer your question?
So are you basically saying that you find a figure-like incentive to some genre, like for example French Dance lovers, because there are a lot of them and there is money to be made, and then you put your artistic hat on and say and try to explore that genre?
Yes, I try to explore it. Yes, my approach would be to figure out why do they buy it? Why do they like that? What does it make good? And what is it actually? What are the techniques that are used? There's a lot to learn. Well, it wouldn't work if I just buy some sample construction set and make something that sounds similar. No, I have to deeply understand what happens there from an emotional, artistic point of view. Where this use pattern helps me is that I am conscious about my purpose, and thus I can test if it works. This is the only advantage. It's just some meta way to look at what we're doing anyway.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Yeah, if you try to find out what people like about it, and then you look like, yeah, I have to do that, doesn't that limit you? And don't you sometimes find out like, but it's not what I like, and that, well, that's no longer a fun part to do?
No. I found, for me personally, the opposite thing happens. I begin to like things I didn't like before. So what I'm actually doing is I'm learning to like stuff I didn't know before. So this is why it doesn't work with the genre cage thing. But no, the opposite happens.
Would you mind giving some examples of some cliches from different genres and which emotions they create?
Oh, this is difficult because I didn't bring any. I didn't prepare any examples beside the. Well, we already had those 4 hardcore examples. Isn't that enough? I can play some more, of course. Okay. Thank you very much. No, seriously, try to find them yourselves. This is much more interesting.
And about that genre you discovered a couple of days ago?
This exotone thing, this here.
Can you come to like it?
From what?
Can you come to like it?
I think so, yes. I find it fascinating. And it's fascinating. It's a mixture of, oh my God, why? It doesn't make sense in any way because you can make out bass drums at that frequency. So what the hell? Are they all stupid? Or maybe they are not. But then why are they not? You know? So maybe I can, if I give a listen to some popular, I would try to find some popular DJ sets between splittercore and exotone and listen to them and suffer. And, and through the suffering, I would probably get it. I don't know, maybe. I think with enough time I would.
Addicted to pain.
Addicted to pain, yes.
There's a scientific part of it. Do you know Spagen?
I don't know who's speaking. Ah, hi.
Do you know Spagen? It's a program that emulates this kind of sound. And
I don't know it, no.
no? Scientists have found out that some kind of frequencies like white noise helps to sleep better or to concentrate better.
Yeah, there are actually many of those kinds of studies around. often I figure they tested it with like 30 people or something was wrong with the double blindness or over-interpretation of EEG readings or something. My point being, we don't really know how the brain works in terms of music. There are some measurable things.
Yeah, but maybe because of that, people hear that kind of stuff.
Maybe, yes. This might be one approach to go with, to understand it. But I want to feel it. I want to get the emotional quality. What I want to know is, why do people listen to it and feel good at the same time?
Thanks.
You're welcome. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, so what exactly is that device? Because I kind of want one.
Well, I don't advertise it. Ask me later. I'll
okay.
show it to you. And yes, it's fun. It took me about a minute to prepare this. Just a sampler, basically. So any more questions? Or beer? Beer sounds like a plan. So thank you for listening. Thank you for attending. I hope you had some fun. Maybe you got some ideas or something. Thanks to the organizers for making this all possible. And well, see you with a beer later.